too.
Wibwobbers, Robbett here. At the end of last week, Level 5 reached out to have us pre-announce the upcoming Scramble event. Then, Monday morning, it became clear just what was at stake. Then the insanity began. The unnamed pastry from my pre-announcement was replaced with yo-cakes and more details of the event. Each scramble will last 4 days, with 4 scrambles in total, and begins with you selecting a team. Depending on where your team places, you'll get a Y Money reward. More importantly is your personal ranking within your team. Each scramble has slightly different rewards, but the big ticket item is Unikirin. This is the yokai we've been waiting for so long to befriend. He's a heartful attack booster, and he's the last seal yokai for Slurpent. They didn't put the banner up immediately, but make no mistake, for the top 5 of each team, you will receive Unikirin and unlock the final seal for Slurpent. Of course, top 5 is a difficult feat, and there are a ton of great prizes from 6th place all the way to 25,000th place. 3 of note are Kirin, Komajiro A, and Mermother, previously unavailable in Wibble Wobble. Additionally, you can receive Y Money, coins, and X-Borbs. There are 2 ways to earn yo-cakes to go toward your personal and team rankings. The first is to pop cake boxes during battle, which you do by surrounding the cake boxes with wibwobs of size 5 or larger, and when you pop the wibwob, it will do damage to the cake box. Second is to use a capture stage. Third is defense of a stage. Various yokai provide bonuses during the event, the most useful of which is damage against cake boxes. Darkubi and Arachnia do a lot of bonus damage, while Komasan S will do a little. Illuminoct helps get more cakes during capture, as well as 4 of the legend yokai. Ubergeeko, who we don't have yet, and 3 of the other legend yokai help during capture in a different way. Several Awoken also help in 2 different ways for capture. Carrying Kirin, Mermother, or Komajiro S on your team while you battle will give a bonus multiplier to your cakes at the end of each battle. As I mentioned, Arachnia provides a big bonus during the scramble, and she's available in the crank for a limited time. We'll find out just how rare a little later. Arachnia is an area popper with middling hit points but a reasonably high attack. Kirin is back in the crank as well, so you have a chance to both win Kirin during the scramble and crank for him if you haven't already gotten him nor maxed him out. On top of all that, it's going to be St. Patrick's Day, so we've got 2 weeks of login stamps with various items including St. Patrick's Day coins. The final piece of news is a little curious, as they've finally chosen to notify us of the big bosses that we've been seeing for a while in Score Attack. While there's no new info here, it's nice to see confirmation of Prison Breaker for the future. This week in Score Attack, we have our first new big boss, Captain Thunder, who is the Buster's boss version of Usapion. He's shady, so charming and heartful are effective. On to the event. I didn't really have a yokai preference, so I went with Team Jibanyan as I hadn't heard anyone publicly declare for him. Once you pick a team, you're stuck on that team for the 4-day scramble. Ultimately, what team you pick doesn't change much that's in your control. After the 4-day scramble, everything is reset and you get to choose again. From the Scramble Battle screen, you can see how your team, you personally, and your friends are doing. You'll play the Scramble Battle on a larger than usual map, which is shared among the teams, yet the stage order and bosses differ slightly. Each map has 2 bosses, which are based on the opposing team's mascots. In addition, there are 2 capture stages and 2 hidden stages containing the new yokai Pitapat and Toiletta. The conditions for opening the hidden stages change based both on team and scramble cycle. On the 4th day of each scramble, 2 additional capture stages appear that have a variable bonus multiplier in the form of a slot machine. While battling, cake boxes will appear of differing sizes. The bigger the cake box, the larger Wibwob you'll have to pop next to it in order to open it and get the yo-cake inside. Remember, using Dark Cubie and Arachnia helps significantly, and sometimes even using one of them still requires a size 14 Wibwob to crack open a cake box. In my testing, higher numbered stages are both more difficult and produce larger cake boxes, which is all important to get as many yo-cakes as you can. Additionally, I found that the faster you clear Wibwobs to get the next cake box drop, the larger that box will be. There are always 5 cake boxes available, so make sure you don't knock out the enemy yokai before getting all of them. If you're looking for a top position, the scramble is a serious, brutal grind, so as long as you have money, make sure to continue if you need to, otherwise you'll need to start the battle over and lose what cakes you had acquired in the defeated stage. I found that while Sultimate moves, especially of Arachnia and Dark Cubie, can deal damage to cake boxes, you run too much of a risk of knocking out the enemy yokai, and therefore I only use Sultimates as a last resort. If a stage is under attack from an opposing team while you're playing, once you defeat the stage, you'll find that there is a bonus to your cake contributions, which greatly helps toward your personal ranking. Stage defense opportunities are random, and the only suggestion I have to gain these valuable opportunities is to make sure you change stages every once in a while during your battles, which seems to help trigger attacks. As you get to the higher numbered and hidden stages, you'll start to realize that cake boxes are a hindrance not only because they demand all of your focus, but because you're working around them and tougher enemies will find the means to defeat you. There's also a unique stage in the Scramble Battle called a capture stage. The capture stage allows you to assign a yokai team to go steal cakes from an enemy team. Like Score Attack, there's a tribe that's best for any given capture attempt, and a variety of things including tribe unity, the attack and hit point stats of your yokai, Sultimate level, etc. all determine your capture power, or how many cakes you'll be able to steal, as well as your capture time, how long it takes for it to occur. On the 4th and final day of a scramble, you get additional capture stages called Plunder stages. They work exactly the same way, except when your team returns you'll have a chance to double or even multiply your stolen cakes by 10 or 100 times. Note, however, that this multiplier only applies to the team contribution and not your personal ranking. The impact of Plunder can be huge on the team rankings, and this has definitely played a part in the winning team of the first Scramble Battle. Remember that everything resets between scrambles, so make sure to get all of the mission stars, clear levels for the first time items, and also use contribution points to buy prizes before the scramble cycle ends. I'm proud to say that after 4 days of the first ever Scramble Battle, and after over 50 hours personally put into grinding more than 500,000 yo-cakes, both Team Jibanyan and I won our respective categories. That means that I befriended Unikirin. After 4 days where I didn't think I could make it, where I was dead tired, I was suddenly elated and overcome with joy. Not only did I get Unikirin, but because I have all the other seal yokai, that means I also befriended Slurpent. A lot of people, including Springdale Data Sciences, have been worried about Slurpent ruining the game. There's the fact that he can self-inflate, and there are a ton of Puni videos showing him help get Score Attack to the hundreds of millions of points. All that being said, I've come to feel much better about Slurpent over the last few months. We'll have to see if things change. In Japan, Score Attack now has tribe restrictions and higher score limits, but they also have a lot more good attackers to pair with Slurpent. Until then, the biggest barrier is learning how to use him. Figuring out the timing for the single fever flood against the second trio that I use for Score Attack was difficult and something I'm still perfecting. Getting the timing for Slurpent is something else altogether. Here was my first attempt at Slurpent after 50 plus hours of Scramble against Massiface. Utterly epic fail. Not only was I tired, my hand numb, but setup and timing are huge with Slurpent. Beyond that, sometimes he inflates to size 6, which causes a problem if you pop 2 size 6 Wibwobs and don't actually fill your Sultimate. If you don't have any size 1 Wibwobs on the board, he'll inflate already large Wibwobs as well, and soon enough your board is half filled with bonus balls. None of this is meant as complaints. He's awesome to watch and chain, but he's not a free ticket to endless Y money and Score Attack success. To really use him, you're going to need 34 Soul Secrets to max him out. If you have that, you likely already have a good team and good skill at the game. Everything after that's going to be new learning. I spent around 25,000 Y money playing with Score Attack. Although I was getting good boards, I was still having a lot of problems. Even unlearning things like not clearing Slurpent away to only leave the attacker took some work. In the end, I have a score I'm happy with, but one that's still 8 million under Howard, the current reigning leader. With a lot more practice, I think I can beat him, but using Slurpent against the trio is definitely tough. The biggest difficulty is using everything Slurpent gives you in Fever Time. It seems like a long time, but it goes quickly. With a single attacker, I could focus on the boss and not even worry about Fever Time. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Jolly good show.
Since we have a new yokai added to the crank, I've taken my maxed base crank and a pile of Y money to see what we'll get. This time I've done slightly less cranking, as I needed to focus on the Scramble Battle, but I think the numbers are still fairly representative. Soul Secrets is a little higher than the usual 20% for a maxed crank, but that's likely just a little bit of randomness. Arachnia falls right in that 12% bucket we often see for limited S ranks, which is good, not too rare. You're going to want Arachnia if you can afford her. She's great for the Scramble. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to me here on YouTube for all the latest Wibwob information, and follow me on Twitter as well. Please leave any comments or questions, and good luck with the crank.